Don't know what to say. Don't know what to say. Probably the most ridiculous game I've ever seen. It was a game of two halves. If there was a game of two halves of all games, this was the one. The first half we played really well, right? But oh my god, the chances we missed. Oh, it's so frustrating. Son, Kane, Son was absolutely. I know he's been our best player this season, right? Probably Harry Kane, Højbjerg as well, Lloris. But Son has been our best player, most goals, second most assists, most goal involvements, I believe, as well, right? But he was fucking terrible today. He was terrible. I don't understand, right? How do you miss a header from 7 yards? 7 yards, a diving header. With a diving header, right? It doesn't matter how far away you are. You can generate power into a diving header because you're moving into the ball with your whole body is diving into the ball, and he still managed to miss. I don't get it. And then Kane, literally a minute later, a minute after Son had missed that chance, yeah, Kane puts it away in the same position, and he showed Son how to head the ball. But Kane also missed chances as well. First half we played well, right? But what I don't understand is we played three defensive midfielders against Fulham. Fulham are 19th. They are fucking, I think they're 18th now or something like that, yeah? But they're in the relegation zone. They're probably going to go down this year. They've got a shit manager in Scott Parker, who's fucking, this guy, yeah, he's got the fattest ego I've ever seen. They've just drawn 1-1 against Tottenham, yeah? When we play three defensive midfielders, and this guy's running up his mouth as if he's just fucking won something. Like, I don't get it, man. The guy's always had a fucking attitude on him, and I don't think he's a good manager. He wasn't a good player. I hated him when he was at Tottenham. I hated him when he was at Fulham. I hate him now, you know. But I'm fuming because this was an opportunity for us to close the gap on Man United, to get 1 point behind Liverpool. And yet again, when we need a result, we bottle it. Liverpool away, bottled it. Crystal Palace away, bottled it. Don't know how many times we have to go to games, and when we need to win those games. West Ham bottled it, 3-0 up in the first half, in the first 25 minutes, I think it was, against West Ham. And then we conceded in the last minute. Against Wolves, we scored in the first minute. I think it was like 12 seconds or something like that. I don't even know how quickly it was. And Ndombele scored, yeah. And we defended a lead for 90 minutes, a 1-0 lead. I don't know where we're going as a club, to be honest. And in the second half, what I don't understand is we're 1-up against Fulham, right? And even with three defensive midfielders, you should still be able to defend, and we can't. They were ripping through us, and a better team would have probably scored 4 or 5 against us, right? Cavallero scored a great goal. Props to him. They should have scored before, multiple times before that in the second half. I can't remember what the guy's name is. I can't remember his name, but he had a really good opportunity and he missed it. Lloris made a great save from Kamara, I believe it was, had a shot, and Lloris made a great save when it should really have gone in. But I mean, I just don't get it. We played Sissoko, Højbjerg, and Winks. Three defensive midfielders, right? So that's the first mistake that Mourinho made. And in the first half, it looked like it was working, was playing brilliant. Sissoko was playing right wing, thinking he was a fucking, like the inverted Sadio Mane or someone. He's just he's terrible, man. People will say, oh, Sissoko's a brilliant player, he's a great backup and that. No, he's fucking shit, man. He's always been shit. People will like him because he's a nice guy. He puts in performances. The only reason he's in centre midfield, right, is because he can't do anything else on the pitch apart from use his physicality. The guy cannot dribble. Yeah, he had one good dribble in the first half and then forgot how to shoot. But, I mean, he's terrible, man. He's always been terrible. We paid 30 million for this guy, man. What the fuck does he do for us? The only reason Serge Aurier and Moussa Sissoko have looked good this season is because they've both been playing together in the same, similar position. Every time Aurier plays at right back, he's looked good because Sissoko is there for protection. His physicality gives him an advantage. Even at Newcastle, he was not this bad. Even before he left, he was not this bad at Newcastle, right? And he was a right mid at Newcastle. And I don't know. I don't even know why we bought him. It's just so frustrating. And people were saying, yeah, he was important in our run to the Champions League final. We fucking lost the final because he gave away a penalty in 2 minutes. People are not seeing past it. I don't give a fuck if we have a nice player on our team. He's a nice guy off the pitch and everything. He does his job on the pitch. He gives effort. You have to respect his effort. Nah, man. We're meant to be building a winning team. We have a winning manager. And we're keeping players like Moussa Sissoko, Serge Aurier, Matt Doherty. I don't believe is going to play in the Premier League again. Davinson Sanchez. Every single time this guy plays, we always concede. It doesn't matter who we're against, right? Go and check the matches Davinson Sanchez has played in for us this season. I swear to God, I believe aside from one Carabao Cup game, I can't remember who it was against, right? I think it was Stoke actually he played in. We've conceded in every game that he's played. I don't care if he has a good performance, a bad performance. He's not good enough. He's shit. He's clumsy. I don't want him back in the team. We played Alderweireld against fucking Marine and Davinson Sanchez against Fulham. We played our best defender against an 8th tier English team and one of our worst defenders against a team that's looking to pick up points because they're in a relegation battle. And this was our opportunity. And the thing is, we should have been out of sight in the first half. The chances we missed, I just don't get. The starting lineup, I don't get. And yeah, it looked like it was working right. But here's another thing as well with Mourinho. The substitutions he made. He made 2 subs in the second half. Vinicius came on for Ndombele. 81st minute was his sub, right? To bring on a striker in Carlos Vinicius for Tanga and Ndombele, right? First mistake. Sissoko or Winks. Sissoko should have gone off. I think Winks did. Then we brought on, and before Vinicius was brought on, we bring on Eric Lamela came on. Did you see the players we had on the bench? I don't get it. I just don't get it. We had Bale on the bench. Yes, he's not been good this season. He's better than Lamela. Let's be honest, right? He's better than Lamela. If you're bringing on Carlos Vinicius, you need a right winger because you put Son out to the left, Kane and Kane up front. Vinicius can play off him, and you play a right winger. You bring on Bale or Lucas Moura. We had Bale and Lucas on the bench. The right side seems to be a problem for us in attack because there was nothing going down that side. I don't know why Lucas was benched. I don't know why Bale was benched. Right, one of them should have started. Probably should have played a half each, right, and subbed off, half time, whatever, to reserve their fitness. There's no way that them two weren't, they had to be fully fit. I don't understand how they're not. I know Lucas Moura played against Marine. Bale came on in the second half in that game, but surely they should be fully fit. I mean, come on, we played an 8th tier English side, man. Like, how are they not fit to play against Fulham? It's a really important game. We had to win it. And I'm glad that we didn't play Aston Villa because if we played like that today against Aston Villa, we would have been ripped. Apart. Everyone talks about how Mourinho's this, masterclass in defending, but we had 3 defensive midfielders on, plus our back 4, and we still couldn't defend. Fulham were just running through us in the second half, dominant from start to finish. And I don't get it. The subs made no sense. The starting lineup made no sense. His reactions taking off. I don't know. He had a reaction to take someone off in the second half, and I was just thinking to myself, like, what are you doing? People have seen the pictures of the way he looked at Matt Doherty when he got sent off. But I mean, it's just there's so many games this season, and it's just typical Tottenham. Like, on the day that Mourinho wins on the day that Pochettino wins his first trophy, right? I know it doesn't really count because PSG were already in the final. They played Marseille, and they won 2-1, right? But even under Poch, we were this bad. And we've got better under Mourinho, but we've relied heavily on Son and Kane to get us goals. And that's a fact. Because Vinicius Jr. hasn't cut it in the Premier League, and I'm just going to be honest about that. If Kane wasn't fully fit, we'd be screwed because he's our best midfielder, he's our best striker. And, there's no 2 ways about it. He is, in my personal opinion, the best player in the world at the moment. Or the best player in the Premier League. I might be a bit biased towards that. And there are some other players that have done better than him, but with the way that Kane's played this season, he's been world class as always. As always, he's been world class. But I mean, we need to be winning these games, and it is stressful. We've got Sheffield United next. Last season we lost 3-0 to Sheffield United away from home. I'm not confident about the game again. I know that they won their first game against Newcastle. It was their first win in 6 months, and I'm just not confident looking at it. I think that Sheffield United will come out. They'll prove a point. I do still feel like they could stay up this season, and I think that they've been very unlucky in a few games. But we have to play a proper right winger, a proper right back. We don't have a proper right back in the club at the moment. Granted, Sergio Aurier has been good this season, but I just think he's average at best. Sissoko, average at best. Højbjerg, I think he's absolutely incredible. You can see his reaction when he missed that chance in the game. You can see his reaction after the game. He was disappointed that we drew. You know, he felt he could have played. I think he said that he felt he could have played better himself. But we've got too many mediocre players in this club, and you cannot be playing them against Fulham in the Premier League. They shouldn't be near the Premier League team. You know, I know Sissoko's been alright this season, but it's so frustrating because like I was watching the game and then I watched Expressions' video, and you know I agree with a lot of the points he said. And Son was off form today. He said Son was off form. You know, he's not been like it this season, but it was bound to happen. There was bound to be a game where Son would be off form. But regardless of that, it doesn't matter what type of form you're in. You cannot miss a diving header from 7 yards out. Yes, Alfonso Areola made a great save. Son missed another chance in the first half as well, right? Where I think he was 3 yards, 4 yards out or something. He poked it right at Alfonso Areola. He poked it right into him. And people saying, oh, great save from Areola. No, it wasn't, man. Son he shot right into him, any side of him, and it's in. You know, and you know, we take the lead earlier in the game than we should have. But I just don't know, man. We should have been 3-4 up in the first half. Second half, Fulham could have scored 4 or 5. I mean, you know, I don't really think that it would have made much of a difference because it seems to me that we're a first half team, not a second half team. You know, West Ham proved that, Crystal Palace proved that, Liverpool proved that. To an extent, Liverpool proved that because we were brilliant against them first and second half, and we lost in the last minute.